you just hear this?
It's the Jim Kerr Rock and Roll Morning Show on Q1043.
New York's classic rock, Q1043. The Doors, Roadhouse Blues on this Friday morning. It's 7:34, 58 right now. It's not going to get warmer than that. Drizzling in Manhattan, rain all day long today. Dave Navaro is on the phone with us. Dave, good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm looking at your picture in Rolling Stone magazine on page 9. Have you seen that picture yet?
I haven't.
Well, there you are with Perry. It's Jane's Addiction doing an intimate 4-song set in Los Angeles on April 16th with news that Eric Avery was also involved this time. So it was the first time the band that everybody played together in 17 years.
That's absolutely true.
And the picture looks like you're all having a great time.
We had a blast, man. That was for an NME event, which NME is it's a music magazine out of the UK.
Right, New Musical Express. You know, isn't it strange that they don't mention that in the caption to the picture?
Conveniently leave that out.
The funny thing is that, you know, what we loved about that event was that NME has always maintained its primary focus, which has been music and really exciting new bands and so forth. And Rolling Stone has seemed to veer from that.
Well, more of a pop culture magazine.
Yeah, you know, where it used to be on the cutting edge of what was happening in music, and now it's just, exactly. It's more of a pop culture magazine. Mm-hmm. But, you know, all the same, the event was amazing, and playing with the guys again was just spectacular.
You plan on doing it again sometime?
You know, who can say? I mean, I can say this. You know, it used to be that we weren't going to do anything again, and I think the door's wide open for just about anything at this point. But we haven't really had, you know, lengthy discussions about that. We were being honored for Jane Says, one of our songs, and so once we got back together for that, we just had such a blast that it seemed natural.
Doesn't it feel good when you get up on stage and it just all comes together like that?
You know, it does, and I'll tell you, that band, you know, I've been in that band since 1986, I believe, which is quite a long time, and, you know, there's nothing more familiar to me creatively and musically, and you know, and certainly nothing that I enjoy more.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were still a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
You were.
Oh, yeah. We used to be playing in clubs where the drummer and I weren't old enough to actually be in, so they would make us wait out in the bus until showtime, and then we'd have to leave immediately following the show because we weren't of age.
Speaking of drummers, your Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer was in the marching band of a high school that was like one high school district away from mine when I was in Michigan growing up.
Sir, you were so close to greatness by that.
I certainly was. And speaking of greatness, I just can't imagine the creativity that boils around inside your head, because reading about all the different things that you do gives me the impression that every morning when you wake up, you just have a new idea and you have to figure out a way to do it. I mean, just all the different things you've done. You've got your own internet radio station you operate out of your house, and now you've got a talk show that you have on the web, television, internet talk show. I mean, it doesn't end.
Yeah, I do our radio show in L.A. on Indy 103.1 with my partner Billy Morrison, and I'm also in a band called Camp Freddy, and we're currently doing a residency at the Roxy here in L.A. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you put it that way, it's kind of exhausting.
Yeah, and you hosted Rockstar on TV, and there was that MTV show back in 2003. I mean, you work all the time.
You know, and some would argue that some of those choices were poor. You know, I don't really look at you know, at things like that. You know, if anything's of interest to me, I kind of go for it. And yeah, it makes for a lot of sleepless nights because the brain's always going. But you know, it's a lot of fun, and one project will inspire me on the other. So. And
the guys in Cheap Trick are happy that you did Surrender.
Oh yeah, I hope so. We're friends with Robin, Xander, and we've played with those guys a bunch. Camp Freddy has, and you know, it's always an honor to play with those cats. And thankfully, we had their blessing on that cover.
Dave Navaro's with us.
And you're a role model when it comes to how to handle a relationship post-marriage in a divorce. Is it true that you and Carmen Electra talk every day?
No, not so much anymore.
No? Now that she's getting married again?
You know, well, it would be kind of a difficult thing to, like, you know, speak to your ex-wife every single day when she's, you know, about to step into her new relationship. But, you know, we're definitely good. But, you know, I don't know where you're getting this role model idea from.
Because you get along.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I guess you're right. Well, you know, the bottom line is life's too short for, you know, there to be, like, resentment and, you know, anger. And it's just, for me, that's just, I spent a lot of years living that way, and the only one who really suffers is you when you're living like that. So it's kind of important to me to like stay cool with everybody. You know what I mean?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the shameless plug.
Go for it.
Mad TV tomorrow night. Dave, tell us about that.
Like you mentioned, I had the internet show. It's on maniatv.com, and a good friend of mine by the name of Bobby Lee came on the show. We had such a great time that he invited me to be a part of one of their sketches on Mad TV, and I went out and shot it with Bobby. And it's a takeoff on the 24 show with Keith Sutherland. And it's very, very funny, and I had a blast. I'm no actor, but working with someone like Bobby, who's a longtime friend, was very, very easy to do and just a lot of fun. I think that's on tomorrow night at 11 on Fox.
That is correct. Fox 5, tomorrow night, 11 o'clock. And it does sound like a pretty interesting premise. The 24 hours of the life of Bobby Lee, hour by hour, as he discovers a love boil on his body.
Oh.
His 24 hours are slightly less exciting than Kiefer's.
Well, Dave, thanks for taking the time to speak with us this morning. And anytime that you're in town, drop by and say hi, all right?
I'm in town all the time, and I'm going to take you up on that.
Okay.